Thank you.
Welcome. Thanks.
Let me get the remote. Indeed, I'm Ernest van Voort. I oversee business development, concept development and marketing for Albron. Albron is one of the larger companies in food service operator in the Netherlands. We run about 1,000 locations throughout the Netherlands, and we serve about 250,000 meals a day. And we do that on places where people work, study, heal, and spend their free time. That's an interesting thought, because if you want to do that right, and what you need to know is that we do this dominantly in spaces where other people are responsible for generating the traffic. We need to fully identify ourselves with the purposes of the ones that actually generate the traffic. We need to submerge in who they are, what their goals are, what their purposes are, and we need to identify with the most important cravings of their guests. So that's what we do. And we have, well, I have two key insights that you probably already know. We do not go to hotels anymore because we're sleepy or tired. We go there because we want to experience something. And the same goes for a theme park. We don't go there because it's boring or we are bored. And so we go to a restaurant to, well, what we say, have a great moment, have a huge experience, have maybe even experience a souvenir. So what we need to do is not only elevate that experience beyond the food that we serve, we need to deliver true value. And for me, true value is making all these precious moments more and more valuable. You need to walk away and say, okay, I've had the time of my life, and while I was doing that, I had a great meal. And I just want to share this short movie with you on this project.
In the heart of the Netherlands, in the station area of Utrecht, is our circular and sustainable pavilion, with restaurant and spaces where people can meet and inspire each other. This is the first restaurant where waste does not exist, and where we think differently about products, materials, and people. It is a place where we experiment and learn. A living lab where, for 15 years, we'll experiment with creative solutions. A continuous search for new and better circular solutions according to the principles: reduce, reuse, recycle, and reconnect. How can we cook with as little energy as possible? And can we find sustainable solutions we can also use in other places? Because it has to be feasible, sustainable, and scalable. And our motto is, right to copy. In our urban farm, we grow our fresh herbs and vegetables because they're the stars of the show. We cook seasonally, and any ingredients that aren't grown in the greenhouse are sourced locally from sustainable producers. The only true way to be circular is by forming sustainable partnerships with partners throughout the entire chain, so that new business models emerge. We work closely with 6 companies on a pay-per-use basis. They remain the owner of the goods and are paid for the use of, for example, the light, the chair, or the harvest. Our ambition is to make sustainability mainstream, and we do this by offering experiences, food and drink as a natural connector, so that this place inspires you consciously and unconsciously, and we can reach out and share our ideas with the public. Welcome to this exciting breeding ground, a place for you to meet and to be inspired by stories, activities, and encounters about how to do things differently. About a circular world where there's no such thing as waste.
This is an interesting project, and if I can just appeal to you a little more personally, the most important times in your life were actually joined by food. There was always food present. There was a meal present when you experience these important moments. And there's a magic moment when you sit at the table with others enjoying a meal. You open up to others, to other opinions. You're a little bit more tolerant. That's actually what we create when we sit at the table. We are open to other ideas, and we listen to other people. And this is actually the right time for us to provide customers with some inspiration and aspiration around the theme of circularity. Because circularity is a scary thing. It is a thing that people do not really know about. It's a thing that talks about the planet, and the planet is not in a very good shape. So how can we provide people on information and inspiration on getting engaged to get this world into a better place? So December 13, 2015, there was a climate agreement signed in Paris, and this is actually where this story starts. At that point, the Dutch government came back and said, okay, this society needs to become a circular society by 2050. And we thought, okay, how can we fit that into something that we call a routine, a daily routine of eating 3 meals a day, in some cases even more. And if we can make circularity as small that it fits on your plate, then we also know that if you put it in your mouth, you probably trust it, and it becomes part of who you are and part of your engagement on a daily basis. So how can we create an environment in which eating, drinking, connecting and sharing is going to be part of what you do? Create a place where people can meet, co-work, network if you want, learn and debate, but moreover, engage on this topic. This is how it looks like. It is a place where we learn, and we have a great ambition on this place. It is already a circular hub. It needs to be a sparkling environment, let's say a stage for people to meet and discuss on circularity. And every time food and beverage and meals and the hospitality that we serve as the ultimate spark to get people more conscious on the issues that our planet has and getting them more engaged. That's great. So for customers, that's and our consumers and our guests, that is totally clear. But also, in general, sustainability tends to be a great idea until the money runs out. So to what extent can you actually maintain that sustainable idea and principle? Well, you, in the end, need to make sure that you are able to make some money, make a profit. And you also need to make sure that the thing that you do, you need to keep doing on a daily basis and improve. So it needs to be achievable, it needs to be feasible. And if it's that, then in the end, it probably will be scalable. And in fact, it is. So it has two principles. One is creating a great environment to stay and eat. On the other hand, it's also a business case. So we create this living lab, not by the purpose of building 100, but by developing all kinds of initiatives that will help us support our customers, the drivers of our business, to, let's say, absorb sustainable activities, circular activities to be part of their business and helping them identify with that so they can actually drive forward their purpose. So we wanted to be part of as many people as we can. And if you want to be something for everybody, you are probably nothing for anybody. So, and still we wanted to challenge this principle. So we said, how can we reach as many people in society, making sure this is a place where people with a business background, corporates or professionals actually come together and talk about circularity together. This is a place of confirmation, but also you can have a great glass of wine at the end of the day with your best friend, talking through your great day and be inspired by the things that we actually do. And thirdly, it needs to become a stage for people that want to engage others, inspire others, or get inspired by the theme of circular thinking. And we set out 5 most important principles to work by. And they're all inspired by reuse, reduce, and recycle. And we added one thing, and that is reconnect. A little bit on that later on. So one thing, everything that we did there is actually has a story. It has a history, and it definitely needs to have a future. Secondly, we will do no concession on the comfort that it needs to deliver. So as a hospitality professional, I don't get that sustainable restaurants tend to be very uncomfortable. I need to sit on a chair that I didn't sit comfortably on when I was in school 30 years ago. So it needs to be comfortable to get the connection between people going and to actually deliver on the purpose that we set out to deliver. We work by the idea of Dutch cuisine. And I don't have the time to explain to you the thinking of the idea of Dutch cuisine. And you might have all kinds of ideas on that. Well, one of the basic principles of that is that we serve 80% veggies and 20% meat. If you know that already 91% of everybody that visited this place voluntarily chose not to eat meat, poultry, or fish, and it's still on the menu, then you can see that it works. It needs to be 100% transparent, so we show everything. You can see how the food grows, you can see how we keep it, and you can actually see how we cook it. There's no secrets. Obviously, we hide all the things that do not deliver a very positive experience, such as doing the dishes. But other than that, everything is fully transparent. And last but not least, and this is one of the most important things, we are makers of memories. So the most important resource in a restaurant business is actually people. And you can't imagine the amount of people that are not allowed to participate in that process just because they have a small handicap or because they took a wrong turn in life. So we actually treat them as social waste. And we are also a place that takes the responsibility to bring these people and make these people part of our business again. Oop, chair. There's a story behind everything that we do. And that talks about the appliances that we use, the way we use appliances, the food, the people that are in there, the deals and the partnerships that we make with others. And I can't tell you all these stories. I want to share a few with you, just to give you an idea. So at night you sleep under a blanket, and that blanket is then filled with duck feathers. The animals that actually take part in producing these feathers do not survive harvest. I can't help that. What I can do is make sure that they don't become garbage. They don't become waste. So rather than becoming, let's say, dog food, we put them on the menu, and you have never, ever eaten such a great duck in your life. The cow that you see on the right is actually one of these cows that lives in the wild here. They were set out, but there are too many. So at night, a forestry department in the Netherlands takes them out, and they become a part of ground beef. We buy these cows, and we use them nose to tail and put them on the menu. And then thirdly, you see an environment just on the coast here, where they will actually have the Grand Prix in May, where these deers are running around. And these deers, they're a menace. They eat everybody's flowers in the garden. So they are being shot, and they end up on the garbage pile. So we buy these, and we put them on the menu. And all of a sudden, waste becomes value. And that's the story that we, in the end, want to tell everybody. As I said, this is our living lab. This will be here for 15 years. We started out with 100 stories. These 100 stories are, in fact, 100 experiments on circularity. Half of these experiments will fail. The other 50 are new business cases. And we can provide these successful business cases to you to serve your purpose in terms of sustainability. Make them part of food, service, and retail. We are here for 15 years. In those 15 years, we set out to deliver 1,500 stories, 1,500 circular experiments to learn what works and what does not work. And in the meantime, help our customers develop a sense of engagement towards contributing, while improving the way we live on this earth. Thank you very much.